Hello everyone and welcome to the second in the three-part kind of vlog series about the running of the OPG GT. I've had to wait this long because my voice, as you can still hear, it probably is a bit rough from shouting for a weekend playing Warhammer 40k, but it was a great weekend. It was amazing to just be back at a tournament, if nothing else, and it was also amazing to get my first tournament under my belt. And you can kind of see in the background of this video photos that John, actually there is John on screen now, and Matty, who you've both seen on the channel, took for me over the course of the event. These photos are all available on my Facebook page, which will be down in the description below if you want to go and check out those photos in more detail. But yeah, so I'm just gonna I haven't got any list of things to talk about. I'm just gonna talk for a bit and see where my own brain takes me, which is always a bit of a scary thought, but hey ho, here we go. So we got there on the Friday, and I do have some gimbal footage, which if I remember, I'll put in at some point. But to be honest, I took the gimbal down there, this handheld camera stabilizer thing, with the intention of filming in between the rounds, which that plan went quickly at the window, so there was a bit of filming of the setup. But we got there Friday about 1 o'clock to start setting up the terrain, and yeah, the first thing we did was we did an inventory of all the terrain we had, so we could evenly distribute it amongst all the tables, and that included the terrain that the venue has, the terrain that I brought along, that Innes brought along, and also there was additional terrain brought over by Callum Purdy and Ryan Stevenson. So thank you very much to everyone who brought terrain. Made a huge difference to the event. And there's Ryan's army on screen now. His lovely Craftwood Eldar. The event itself. So setting up that was the easy part. It was just a long process. I got a practice game in afterwards so I could test out the top table. Setting up was relatively easy. I had Innes to guide me through it, and Innes was a stabilizing feature for the whole thing. So if it's your first event that you're running, make sure you have someone who can help you run it, because it's quite a daunting challenge to run, and I think I think in hindsight it would have been a much better experience for me as a TO to have not played at the event, particularly as it was my first one. There was times where, like, things like calling out round timings and stuff like that was quite difficult to keep on top of, and John and Innes both helped with that. It was just kind of whoever saw the clock and was it, oh, it's a half hour, we'll call out that half hour time warning. But getting everyone checked in, that was fine. I made the cardinal sin of not bringing a laptop with me, which I would definitely not do. I will always bring a laptop with me, because it was just a pain to run the event without one, and if Innes didn't have the foresight to bring one, it would have been significantly harder to collect test and trace information, to do the best painted scoring, to do the most sporting as well. It just needed that extra utility of the laptop. BCP, the best close pairings app, that was fine on the phone. However, I'm going to split this across 2 days. In terms of like the story of the tournament. So day one, it was largely without any hiccups or drama. I will stick my hand up and say I made a mistake as a tournament organizer, and this is entirely on my own head. That one of my friends turned up with an unpainted army, and I won't name and shame, and I should have turned him away. I realised that night I should have turned away, but I realised immediately I could not be impartial, and that was an ethical violation on my part, and so I apologise to all the players who did put in the time to paint their armies. It just wasn't fair in them. However, I realised that partiality and realising that mistake, I did ensure to enforce the letter of the law entirely for the rest of the event, even when it was uncomfortable to me. And the same player who brought the Imperial Army received time warnings on day one, and I had to enforce them, even though it was uncomfortable for me to tell one of my closest mates in Scotland off. So that was an uncomfortable situation to be in, and yeah, as I said, I do apologise. It was entirely incorrect of me to not send that player away to go and paint. I could have just said to them, listen, round one, paint, get some more colours on your army, and come back for round two. That was really the only upset in day one, and just that kind of issue for me. And I felt that also impacted how I played. I did achieve my goal of coming top 10. I came 8th, I believe overall. But like 30% of my brain was thinking, "Oh God, have I made an entire arse of this already?" And I think this is just kind of like a case of TOs are humans too. We make mistakes. We get the rules wrong as well, even when we write them. What I should have done was I should have asked Innes and Simon, who came first and second in the event overall, so well done to them, to make this call without me. I should have removed myself for not being impartial. This is why we have three. This is why I asked them to help me judge, and I could have just said, "Hey, could you step in and make this one for me, because I can't be impartial for this." Other than that, like I said, just running the rounds, that was relatively smooth. Best Coast pairings did the majority of the effort for me. The running of best painting, that was fine. The venue did an amazing job of getting food out on time and to everyone. So everything, I think everyone had a good time. At least that's what I'm hearing back, unless people aren't talking to me. Callum Purdy, who brought the terrain, and you saw his Harlequins on the screen a while ago. He also did a Warhammer bingo, and I think that went down quite well. But I think people were a bit distracted from doing this Warhammer bingo with playing the games, which is understandable. But it was definitely quite a good way of doing some spot prizes, and I think it was something I'd be keen to iterate on and help, help it just get better and more engaging and probably easier to do as well. Just changing around where the different boxes are on the bingo board. Day two, again, it went pretty smoothly. There was only one hiccup, one mistake. Someone, I would not name names. That's not kind of the person I am. Someone didn't count up their command points correctly, and I don't know. I didn't catch this. Actually, Innes was catching it. He was playing this person, and I don't know exactly what the thought process was for why this wasn't accounted for correctly, but they were 3 CP higher than what they should be. So what we did initially was Innes, Simon, and I. Right at the start of the round, I was actually playing Simon at that time. We had a little meeting, and we decided, okay, what we'll do is we'll set all the previous scores to be the maximum points to win for the opponent. So 20 to the opponent, 0 for this individual. But then, kind of halfway through, we all thought that might be a bit too harsh, so we decided to ask each of the previous opponents, what would you be okay with? Would you be okay with a 10-10 draw, or would you rather keep the 20? And I decided to talk to everyone individually. Some other people will need to talk to them as a group, but I decided, no, talk to them individually. People, because if then you have the peer pressure involved, people might want to take the maximum point win for themselves to help them get further up the leaderboard, whereas other people might be quite happy with the 10-10 draw. So I went around and collected the information off of everyone, and yeah, that was that. We fixed everyone. Everyone was happy with the 10-10 draw, and that was the end of that matter. I think we handled it as a TO group pretty damn well. And I don't think I made a mistake with that one. So, one mistake, one good call. That's a pretty good result, I'd say, for the running of my first event. And when I say I running of my first event, I really meant Innes helping doing this. Innes was basically managing me, and I was managing the event. Is how I would sum up. And I could not have done it without Innes and his help, and which is often the case, to be fair. Running tournaments is just second nature to him at this point. Was there anything else? One thing I need to get better with, speaking of Innes, there is winning the event. The one thing I need to get better at is, I think next time I need to have alarms on my phone. We know when the round is starting ahead of time, even if we start it a few minutes earlier, a few minutes late. I need to have alarms on my phone for 1 hour warning, half hour warning, 10-minute warning, just so I can shout it out when I'm at tabletop. I don't have to look back at the wrong clock. I can just have these alarms on my phone. That's one change I'd make to my TOing immediately. I was definitely happy I was able to play to the speed where I had 10 minutes spare in most games, where just to answer questions and to deal with things coming up like the command point issue in day 2. What other things would I change? I think a bit more terrain. You've seen some of these tables and they do look quite open in the middle. I would like a couple more ruins in each of these buildings, so I'll probably look at getting some more terrain to transport to and from. How else would I improve my TOing? I think just as a case of listening to the feedback of these events over the course of the coming weeks. We're only 3 days after the end of the event, to just see how people felt. There was the technical issues, like the timings that I really felt off with, and what people did say, lunch on the second day, the half hour we have lunch on the second day was a bit too short, so making that 45 minutes is a good change. And I've already tried to about that, because we are using the same timings for these 6-1 events, so that's already been implemented. If you went to the event and you have any comments or suggestions for improvement, then please do comment below with what you think can be done to improve. And yeah, so that's kind of, I guess this was kind of part 1 and part 2. Sorry, part 2 and part 3 video, kind of the running of and the post-mortem the event. Oh, another thing I need to get better at is the just like the thank you speech thing. I messed up like 6 things in his. I realized I'll probably forget a few things, as I was quite tired at the end of the event. Obviously, I should have. I wrote things down on a piece of paper to look at, and I remembered the majority of things, but there was some things, some quite important things I forgot. So if I forgot to thank you, apologies for that. And yeah, I am obviously learning how to run these things, and I am planning for more next year. I've just sort of worked out dates that are gaps in my calendar, and I just need to see what venues I can get for around those times. Yeah, so just wanted to say one last congratulations to all the winners, thank you to all the attendees, and thank you to everyone who helped make this event happen, whether you brought terrain, whether you brought along friends to come and take extra tickets, whether you were a judge, whether you were doing shouting for me when my voice started to go quite quickly. Thank you very much to Common Gun Games, who was an absolute star, as always, Steve and the event staff there to help make the event run smoothly, so I don't have to worry about you know, timings and everything for lunches. They handle that. And yeah, I'm probably sure again I am forgetting things. That's the kind of person I am, unfortunately. But yeah, thanks to everyone who was involved, and if I haven't named you in this video, I apologize. Comment below and I'll thank you down there, I guess. Thanks to Purdy and Innes and Ryan, and yeah, anyone and everyone who helped me out over the course of that weekend. Cheers, and we will hopefully get the hosts of the channel together to record our little postmortem together. But yeah, so that's the end of this 3-part series, really 2 parts, because I've kind of done both of them at once. And yeah, we'll catch you all in the next patch report. Probably not going to be for a while. It's probably going to be I probably won't film it till for another 10 days or so, because I've got family events coming up. But we will catch you when we catch you. So I'm gonna say bye. Comment below any improvements, any thoughts on the tournament, and yeah, just thanks to everyone once again for helping me run this thing. Peace out.